So if you're out there in YouTube land making content for your gaming channel, that subset of gaming channels, Warhammer 40K, X-Wing Miniatures, Battletech, D&D, board games that are out there and pushing out content, whether it's battle reports, hobby reviews, Tactica, where do we stand right now with the new Coppa laws from the FTC getting involved in YouTube, forcing YouTube to essentially acknowledge collecting data and using it, and now passing that responsibility onto the creators? And as creators trying to navigate just what exactly does that mean? And I'm hoping for some sort of clarification by YouTube and the FTC before January 1st, but putting doom and gloom aside, not being a doom bringer here, I think January 1st, YouTube is going to be a very, very different place. And I'm not quite sure what those next steps are. Now, certainly in all the years that I've been involved actively pushing out hobby content, it still amazes me that some of you have been following what I've been pushing out since Way of Samhan and how I've evolved from there. There's been some ups and downs over the years. I've gotten used to, in the past 11 years that I've been creating content, to dealing with surprises and adjusting the model, adjusting the hobby to deal with those surprises. The biggest one, if you've been following my channel, was about a year and a half ago. YouTube just obliterated my entire channel. Everything gone. So what you're watching right now, Wargamer Fritz, is the second reboot of my channel, which that alone took a major feat of heroics. And in part, thanks to you and a lot of support from the community, I was finally able to find out why it got deleted in the first place. And that was a heroic feat. But okay, it was a chance to push out some new and updated content. It was a chance to kind of cull through my collection of videos. You know, it's not quite the fresh start that I'd want, but it was good. It had a lot of positive effects, mainly creating accurate playlists and kind of organizing my videos and my vlogs and pushing that out. And then there were other times through the years, various feuds with other YouTubers on there, various feuds at Games Day, Games Workshop possibly being upset for maybe leaking some Tyranid stuff back in the day, all sorts of crazy stuff, but never anything that directly impacted the hobby content. And the only reason I do this is literally for the feedback, the amazing feedback that all of you have given me over the years. And if I can just offer a little bit of context of my motivation and what's been keeping me going over the years. 2006, 2007, when the gaming club Battle for Salvation would go down to Games Day, we would all represent with various armies. And I had just started playing my Samhan Warhost when we decided to go down to Games Day. So we had about 3 or 4 months before the actual event. And I was literally new to playing this army. And a couple of the guys at the club, my good friend the War Master, he was like, you got to represent. You cannot go down there and embarrass us. And I had this idea where, okay, admittedly I was playing way too much 40K back then. I mean, I was playing Monday nights at the club, Friday nights, Friday afternoon, Friday nights at the gaming store, Comic Book Heaven. I was playing Sundays at Comic Book Heaven, and at least 2 other times during the week at a buddy's house. It was way too obsessive, and I wouldn't trade all the good times and the memories I created on there. But in getting this experience, it wasn't enough, so I created a blog, Way of Samhan, and the idea was to post up the battle reports, take some pictures, draw some diagrams, and whether it was victory or defeat, post up my ideas and literally open it up to my friends at the club and other gaming buddies to just rip apart on there. And that transition eventually found its way to YouTube, sharing tactics, getting feedback. And absolutely, I would not, wherever I am right now, in all the gaming systems that I enjoy, even in role-playing games and board games, I would not be here if it was not for that generous feedback early on and continuing on to evolve myself as a player. So for me, I frame that context as I'm here for I'm here for that meta, for that guidance, for your opinion, the ability to step out of my immediate gaming circle and culture and literally one-on-one interact. And I also enjoy a variety of YouTube channels and hobby channels. I mean, it's a mainstay of my diet. At night when I get home from work really late, it's 1 a.m, and I'm trying to unwind, do a little hobby for an hour or two, make some vlogs, watch a ton of stuff on YouTube. So the challenge, of course, now is what I'm trying to figure out what to do, and I'm sure all of us are. And if you have a Wargaming channel, I'd love to know how you're approaching it or just your thoughts on this. And there's so much we don't know. If I switch all of my content, I believe my content is not kid-friendly, 13 or under. That's not the primary audience on there with what I push out. So if I switch everything to kid-friendly to be safe from getting fined up to $42,000 per video, which essentially, like, one video fine just bankrupts me for life on there, just takes me out of the picture completely. If I set everything to, my concern is if I set everything to kids only, I lose the comments. So the very thing that I'm trying to do and push out here and get the feedback, that's obliterated. You won't be able to find any of my videos in the search. So that's not going to allow people to engage. I guess you could go to my YouTube channel itself and watch stuff from there, but you'd have to know I existed in the first place. You wouldn't be able to find me. And there's no way to, they're also disabling notifications. So even when I post new stuff, you won't get a notification. So just the interactiveness of posting a vlog, posting a video, getting some feedback, taking the comments, evolving it, posting another, vlog very organically, that's just gone. There's no reason to interact with anything on there. Okay, so if I keep it at the adult setting, which it is right now, I'm not making videos for kids 13 and under. The challenge is the way that it's worded for the FTC and Google not taking any stance or doing anything and passing everything to us as the creators. If my video is deemed attractive to a kid or there's an element in there that a kid might find interesting, then automatically it's a kid's video. And if it's not labeled as that, I'm going to be fined $42,000. So if you see my my figures, my BattleTech figures, or my recently Pacific Rim, which, by the way, I'm really loving playing Pacific Rim Extinction. You see a Jaeger on there as a kid, you're like, oh, it's a toy robot. And you watch it, and, like, that's it. It's over. The FTC will look and say, well, there's a picture of a toy robot, even though it's a miniature, even though it's an adult game, it's a war game, it's a scale model game. That's just out. But even something as crazy as a buddy of mine, he makes amazing tutorial videos for terrain. So there's no miniatures in there. There's no wargaming system. He's just making various terrain features. And that alone, I've gotten a lot of great ideas to incorporate into my own terrain building, my own personal collection on there. I'm using some stuff right now to make some Pacific Rim industrial stuff. So if the FTC comes in and looks and says, well, look, a kid might be interested in seeing this group of model trees. Boom, $42K fine. Like, that's it. They're out. So what are we supposed to do? Eventually, is it just going to be YouTube for, like, late night shows and TV? Is it going to be like the new Netflix and that's it? Completely subscription, YouTube Red, just something crazy like that? I just don't really... change is natural. Change is going to happen, but I'm not sure where this is going to go. It's my intention to keep the channel open, to keep things running. And if things don't change and essentially you can't find any content that I produce and no one gets notified, then I guess I'll switch back over to my blog, which I still run, I still support, but that medium is mainly pictures and reading articles and discussing tactics there. I could switch it back over to podcasts and maybe push it out that way. So at least I have that medium, that combined with Twitter, that, okay, I have some sort of platform to continue getting some amazing feedback from you guys if this totally goes crazy. So how do you think it affects you? And this is already 10 minutes long. This was going to be like a 2-minute quick update because a number of you have been asking, what am I going to do? I have no idea. I guess we're going to kind of see how things shake out between December 9th when there might be some amendments, then pushing forward to that flip switching on the 1st.